Everybody eats. It cuts across every social dynamic there is. We should be able to grow our own food. If we're growing it, we don't have to buy it and source it from who knows where. It's coming from our yard. It's a really important part of living ecologically, living in harmony with nature. How we eat has huge ecological effects, so the most ecological benefits come from very localized food sources. So we're not shipping food from around the planet, but growing it in our neighborhoods.
Hi, my name's Mel Lyons. I'm the founder and the director of Wild Willow Farm and Education Center. And we're a nonprofit educational farm teaching people how to grow food. We just decided that we needed to talk about and teach the practices and principles and the reasons that urban agriculture is really important. Food is really fundamental to our cultures. We identify cultures through food. You can know if you're eating Mexican food or Thai food or Greek food, Italian food. Really, we know culture through food. It's one of the best expressions of our culture. And when immigrants have come to this country, they've brought their food with them. It helps define our communities. It helps define us, who we are as individuals and as families and lineages that go back tens of thousands of years.
Well, I've always eaten a lot of home-cooked food and food that my mom made in Kenyan food. So my relationship with food is very cultural and personal.
I eat a lot of Oriental food. We have our own garden. So I eat a lot of rice and vegetables and a lot of fish.
Enchiladas and green pozole and mostly anything that involves meat.
I sometimes try to be healthy, but I also very much like goldfish and fake cheese.
Pasta Alfredos.
Honestly, I just eat anything.
Frozen pizzas and macaroni from Trader Joe's.
Do you eat anything healthy ever?
Tomato on pizza.
Every time there is any sort of celebration around the world, there is food. It's a really vital cultural expression, and we should be providing our communities with the best kind of food possible. So it's sad that in America, when we come together for celebration, we bring a bag of chips, and that's our sort of cultural contribution. We go for the cheapest and the quickest, and it's a terrible representation of a culture.
We need to change our relationship with the food industry, because right now our relationship with the food and the animals and how it's grown is very estranged and very not personal. And I think the more we start making food personal, the better the food industry will become. They could also take the effort to, get their food from local farmers and food that's grown sustainably, even if it may cost them a little bit more money, or even grow it themselves in their backyard.
So that's what our project's about, starting locally and providing people with the resources necessary to fight the effects of industrial agriculture.
As an entrepreneur, I'm mainly focused on helping with marketing our products.
Well, we've been making a catalog of the different products that we are going to be selling.
I am the liaison between real-world scholars. As a liaison, I keep real-world scholars updated on how our project's going, what we have accomplished, and what we plan to do in the future.
Our job as a documentary group was to capture what the students have been doing throughout this entire semester, the individual jobs, what they've learned throughout this project, and put it together in a cohesive film.
We also scheduled a professional interview to be able to get an outside perspective on our project.
We built a water catchment system out of 2x4s and 4x4s that are pressure treated so that it can hold up to 200 gallons of water. I did a lot of the building, and really, I did a majority of the 3D modeling. That was my biggest role, I'd say. And I made sure that we had everything pre-measured, so before we did the project, it could be exact and precise.
I cut, nailed, drewed, and screwed. We built a very large planter box. So there was like a day of measuring and cutting, a day that was just assembly, and then we did sanding and staining, and some of it kind of overlapped into the other days, and we got it in about a week.
It's a big thing I asked for. I don't have any solutions other than showing people the way. I think that's what I have to give, and that's what I do give, and I can't have to leave it to others. I leave it to you. You know, your generation are the ones who are going to come and re-inspire people to value whole, living, locally grown food. You know, it's a big cultural shift, but cultural shifts happen because people like you decide that that's important.
Our Farmification project was an opportunity to build a better understanding of how and why food is produced through industrial agricultural practices, the cost of the system, and what alternative approaches are available. While it may not seem like we are impacting the whole world, starting small and in our communities is the first step to be able to change our relationship with our food.